Good afternoon. I am Brooke Infusino. I'm with KABA. I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. We're pretty glad to see that there's some strong interest in learning more about this 4-week skills training program for generative AI that we plan to host with Generator in February. We think at KABA that this skills training is a pretty good next step for those of us who are looking to get a better understanding of what generative AI is and how it can kind of help us and impact our approach to our work and our careers and our community. So this is really a chance for us to kind of gain a new skill set for the digital economy, and we're also able to walk away with the certification in the process. So looking forward to hopefully seeing some of you translate into registering for the session after we are done with this info session. So just a heads up, we are recording today's info session, so we will send out a follow-up email with the link to the recording. We have kind of a one-page information overview that we plan to share, and we'll also include a link to register for the 4-week program. So all of that as a follow-up to what we're sharing today. So yeah, if most of you, many of you might have already heard of Generator, and maybe some of you have not. So just a little brief background that they are a venture capital and accelerator firm that actually launched in Madison and Milwaukee a little more than 10 years ago. And in that time, since then, have expanded their programming and their support services internationally. So that's pretty exciting a group for us to partner with. And I'm glad today to be joined by Danny Remick, who is a career coach with Generator. Danny is going to provide an overview of what the skills training program will involve and some of the outcomes that participants can expect with the program. So Danny, I know you plan to provide some more details on the expertise that Generator has. So at this time, if you're ready, I'd like you to kind of give you the floor to further introduce yourself and Generator, and then kind of get started with what this skills training program could look like in Kenosha.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Brooke. This has been a fantastic day so far. I hope you're all joining with as much excitement as I am. I'm actually joining this meeting live from the beautiful co-working space here in Kenosha, and I'm visiting and enjoying some Anna on the Lake coffee too. What a beautiful space you all have here. And thank you, a huge thank you to KABA for this partnership. You really have shown up as a great partner, and it's a huge testament to how you are a heart to the growth and economic development here in Kenosha. So without further ado, I'm extremely excited to also be joined by Nate on the Generator team. And we're going to share a little bit about what is Generator as a whole, what has Generator been doing in the Kenosha area, and then we're going to dive into the content. But first and foremost, please know that we are here for you. And so I'll be doing my best to manage the chat. If you have any questions that you'd like to bring up, we're definitely going to have Q&A at the end of this session as well. But you're welcome to use the emojis and the chat feature all throughout this conversation. And as Brooke had mentioned, this will be recorded and sent out as well. And so you'll see that coming from us. If you've got folks who weren't able to join, you're more than welcome to share this with them. So let me start with talking a little bit about Generator and who they are from a mission perspective. First, as far as my role goes, I support corporate skilling accelerators, and I'm really excited to be kicking this off with you. This is a special one for all of us because Wisconsin is where Generator was born and raised. So we've been running skilling programs across the nation to train people with technical skills, but this is the first of its kind to train in generative AI. And I want to start off by saying your curiosity and your willingness to take time out of your busy schedules to learn more about this technology and how it might affect your business, your customers, your employees, and the citizens of Wisconsin and Kenosha is really remarkable. And it's a model to be studied by other states across the country. So thank you, KABA, again, for this great opportunity. This is a special day for all of us engaging in this new model with all of you, and we're grateful for you to join us on this journey. And before we preview all of that, the overview about Generator, let's start at the mission. So the mission is that we're a company that wants to be the best partner for a community to invest in its best and brightest. And we do this across 5 different verticals. And those verticals look like what I'm sharing here on the screen. We accomplish this via a suite of programming spanning 5 verticals, like I mentioned, to design and connect startups, entrepreneurs, artists, investors, universities, corporations, and governments. They include investment-based accelerator programs, free accelerators targeting high growth startups, and a corporate innovation network and industry-specific conference series to connect corporations with startups innovating in their industries. Our skills training program, like the one we're kicking off here today and talking about, and creative accelerators focused on helping emerging artists and musicians who are outside of those major studio hubs like LA and New York to build a business around their craft as well. So what I'm sharing here on the screen next is how our operation model hits the nation. So we have been operating programs in 44 cities across the United States. And as you can see, we're heavily clustered in what folks on the coast might consider flyover country or flyover states. So we do this intentionally for 2 reasons. One, we don't think that innovators should have to leave their home state to obtain the resources that they need to build ambitious things. And we started Generator as a love letter to underestimated communities. And we believe by expanding access to new technologies or the financial resources to build ambitious products, we can help them by building a stronger and more resilient and more innovative practice, product, city, and country. So we want to make sure that everyone has a chance to compete and win regardless of where they were born. And so a little bit more about just the AI program itself. It's a 4-week course that is estimated to take between 5 to 8 hours a week. And it includes a self-paced learning opportunity that is located on the LinkedIn platform. You're going to get an industry recognized career path certification, and it's specifically curated along with other additional content that we'll be sharing within the course to help supplement the learning that's on LinkedIn. And then additionally, you'll have the opportunity to join a weekly lunch and learn and a capstone project that aligns with that G-Beta tech startup type alignment and opportunity. And from that, you'd be able to work on a project, give you the skills and experience and support and knowledge that you're seeking to know all about the principles and the foundations of generative AI. The weekly lunch and learns are virtual and we'll have featured amazing experts in the field. I'd like to say boots on the ground, the folks who can really talk to you about those personal experiences and how they took learning AI and really put it into motion. Very much how you will be when you learn all about it from the program as well. They're going to share their experiences, perspectives, and how it's related to many of your different areas of specialties. We want to identify individuals to join this conversations that have experience in similar industries as some of you, but also individuals who are going to share information about ethics and policy, how to get started, what does it look like to get on this journey. And you're going to have the chance to have support from our Generator team throughout this entire 4-week program. And like Nate mentioned too, we don't go away. We're here for the long haul. And so any support is needed after the program, we're here as well. And like I mentioned, the course is going to give you an industry recognized certification. That's something that you print off, put it on your LinkedIn profile, send it in the mail to your loved ones, just to show them how in the industry you are moving forward. So a little bit more I'm kind of a visual person. And so I just wanted to put a couple of slides together to kind of help you see what is this program all about. And so the program is taught following industry best practices in learning and adult learning. And so we've broken it up into 3 pillars. One is learn on your own. The second is learning from others. And the third is connecting and learning, getting your hands dirty, really digging in and having that hands-on opportunity to put what you learned on your own into motion. And so the course is going to start on February 6th. It's going to be in person at the KABA location, and we're calling that kind of our program kickoff. You'll have the opportunity to then meet the individuals that you are going to be paired with in your capstone project, and also have the very first lunch and learn on that day as well. The next 2 weeks will be virtual on Microsoft Teams. And so will the lunch and learns will be on Microsoft Teams. And then your small group is going to meet on a weekly basis also on Microsoft Teams. So one thing to note is that we recognize that you're really busy, and thank you for prioritizing your learning. But in an effort to try to help stay organized and plan each week's sessions, we've done them on consistent days and times. And in the registration, we're asking you if you have any major concerns with the scheduling, because we really want to make sure that we do our best to try to accommodate the entire group of folks who are signing up for this. And additionally, in the last week will be in person again, and it'll be your final lunch and learn and capstone project presentation. So you'll get to hear from all of the groups together and what they've ideated on throughout each week. For one other way to kind of look at this, I put together this overall program onto the entire month of February, so that you can see visually what the entire program will look like and how you could prioritize your days and times to continue to make this work in your schedule. I do want to go a little bit into, and again, this will be included in that the follow-up email that you'll get from today's session. But I want to go into a little bit about the capstone project. During the capstone project, what you're going to be doing is meeting with individuals and then brainstorming use cases for AI tools. This could be things like addressing bottlenecks that exist in processes in your work, your business, things that you do on a daily basis that could potentially be improved upon from an operational perspective. You could also think about, making decisions based on citizen experiences or business and customer experiences to make them more frictionless and delightful, or automating inefficient or time-consuming processes that are a drag on your daily work. Ideating on that and brainstorming and thinking about potential AI-enabled solutions to fix the problem and improve processes will be the beginning of the capstone project. Then into week 2, you'll take those ideas that are take those ideas from week 1, and you'll actually present them to your group and work on proposal pitches and learn all the skills that is needed to kind of take an idea and formulate it into an overall concept and continue to keep moving it forward week over week. And from there, let me get to the next slide. It's not clicking. There we go. From there into week 3 of the capstone project, you'll be presenting your ideas to the team members and really digging deeper into each of the projects, and then identifying which of the projects are the strongest that each of the team members can kind of join in on and really help ideate on further. And then moving into week 4, the whole group will decide on one of the overall projects to present to the entire cohort. And you'll all work together on that one final project and decide who's going to present and give executive summaries and presentations to an audience that's to be determined. And we're working on that with Brooke. So from here, I just want to share a little bit more about the overall context of what you'd be registering for. So this is a personal financial commitment of $2,000 per participant. And this course does require the basic free LinkedIn account. The inclusions in that $2,000 per participant includes the first and fourth sessions being in person. You get 4 lunch and learns with industry experts, 4 one-on-one program coaching sessions, and even support beyond the program. 3 capstone project meetings with generator staff and your small group, access to Microsoft Teams, additional resources that we share throughout the cohort that help your learning beyond that LinkedIn coursework, and then the opportunity to run through and gain the experiences of presentations, pitches, experiments, and as the program unfolds, we'll be bringing in any kind of mentors as needed to really build in the experience that you need to keep the generative AI learning to be actually moved from a vision into action. One thing that you might be thinking, because I know I was, as someone who went through the course myself, you might be thinking, I am not all about presentations, and I'm not really sure that I want to be a part of a capstone project that brings back middle school nightmares. But let me tell you a quote from someone who actually went through our program, who is a North Dakota State employee. The person had shared that spiders and snakes and dying were their biggest fears behind public speaking. And actually the capstone project was something that brought them with experiences that they never knew that they needed, but then also gave them a flavor of generative AI that they were able to actually bring back to their entire agency. And they're really excited to continue to share their learnings with the rest of their agency. So that's just one verbatim from one participant that's gone through a program similar. And so with that, I'm just going to pause and open up for questions. And additionally, let you know on the screen, what you see here is a QR code that you could scan to register. And we're going to also be sharing the link in the chat so you can register for this as well. So with that, I'd recommend registering. We're going to get going in February. And I'm going to look over here to the chat to see if there's any questions and any concerns, issues, or any validating points that I can bring forward.
And Danielle, can you please go back to the, I think it was the slide that showed the calendar view?
You bet.
Feel free to unmute if you also have direct questions that you don't want to put in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Brooke.
And Danielle, can you just reiterate the some of the, when you see the total hours here towards the end of these sessions, a lot of that is self-directed learning.
Yeah, so that's why I scooted up one more slide too. So if I go back here where I have kind of the total number of hours per week, how that's broken up is what I've kind of laid out for on Monday would be the self-learning or learning on your own, which is LinkedIn. And then the 1 hour lunch and learn, and then the group meeting to be a total of 5 to 8 hours. So on this slide, what I have shared here is actually on the left-hand side is week over week, the recommended learning path. And all of the links that are in blue are all of the portions of the LinkedIn learning career path. And I have them timed out so that it'll total to be that 5 to 8 hours per week if you follow the curriculum as we've laid out here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you think about it, putting this all together again, so week 1 is you'll be doing this learning, and then you'll be joining the lunch and learn, and then you'll be meeting with your capstone group. We'll go to the next week, you'll be doing this learning on your own, joining the lunch and learn, meeting with your capstone group again. Week 3 is learning on your own. I sound like I'm on repeat. The lunch and learn, and then meeting with your group again. Week 4, what we do suggest is the learning on your own, meeting with your group again to get ready for your program and project pitches. And then the next day is joining a lunch and learn, and then giving your capstone project presentation all on that same day. And celebrating too, right? Oh, I see Melissa has her hand raised.
Yes, thank you. And I may have missed this, but how are the capstone groups kind of pulled together? Is it by industry? Is it just a mix of different industries? How does that work?
That's a great question. So it all depends on, who all registers. And so we can do that a couple of different ways. We can do it by industry. We can do it by making sure that, folks, so when you see that when you register, I've asked for, do you have an expertise in a certain area? Is your business in a certain area, or what's your job title, to help us kind of make sure that each group has, if we do not do it by industry, that we make sure that each group has kind of a good mix of individuals that have different experiences. So for example, when we did this similar project in another state, we had each group include a person who has financial background, a person who has like data and information technology background, some folks who are operational, some folks who are marketing. So it really did make up a really diverse group so that you're learning from different skill sets from other folks. So it all,
Thank you.
my short answer is it depends on who all registers. And we will make sure that the groups are, split in the best way possible for the best learning for all folks. I do see a couple of questions or comments in the chat, so I'll read those out here quick. I work for a nonprofit organization. Can we speak to the potential support that this could provide in our sector? And I love that question. We have run this cohort with organizations that are supporting persons with from the Department of Human Services, Department of Transportation, libraries. So we know that this generative AI cohort can support any folks and any agencies. Specifically for nonprofits, I think that a lot of times there's a lot of work that needs to be done and split across many different folks, and you wear many different hats. And so if you can learn skills from a nonprofit perspective on how could AI impact your operational processes, how could it make something more simple or free or more cost effective, I think that that could potentially help you from a nonprofit perspective. But Marian, if I missed anything in your overall question, or you want to pick out any more from my answer, please do go ahead and let me know if you want me to kind of drive some more information for you from how I think it could support your nonprofit sector. I'll go to the next question, and Marian, let me know in the chat if you've got any more questions for me. Oh, thanks. That makes sense. No further questions. You got it. Becky Noble, can you give us an example of a capstone project that has been done in the past? Yes, actually, the last group I had 13 different project examples, and a couple of them that stand out in my mind were so exciting. The ideation from these groups. One of them was, I can give you a bunch of examples. One of them was, how do we put a AI search feature on our website so that folks can find the information that they're looking for easier, which would then reduce the impact on people calling our office and asking questions about information that's located on our website. So information finder on our website. A chatbot feature that is based off, another one was a chatbot feature that would be, that would show up when folks visit a website, that would actually be based off of data that the operational team had collected, because the current chatbot that folks were using was really, really underserved, underused, and wasn't articulating proper answers. And so there was a duplicate of effort that went there. Folks didn't even know or understand that that was going on until they learned about generative AI and how they could use that on their current data sets to help them ideate further on what kind of data do they have and what can they start using AI to help analyze from their data perspective. And then how do they use that data to then build their chatbot to be smarter and more efficient. Another example was there was an open records search function and need for a group of state employees, and they only charged for the first hour of the open records search services. And they, after that, were providing services for free and was spending, there's a lot of cost there. And so they created a idea on how can they find the information that they need in a faster, more efficient time using data so that they can reduce the number of hours that it takes for open record searching to happen, and making sure that they could also validate the data that they're sharing out to the citizens when they have completed their open record search. So there's 3 examples. Lots of other examples that we can bring into the capstone project and just help folks ideate on. Becky, I hope that answered your question and gave you some examples. But if you'd like any more information, let me know. Perfect, Becky. AI is endless. And so if there's a business that you're thinking about, business processes or problems that you're thinking about, there's actually a website out there that's called There's an AI for that. And so we can help you create, use creative technology solutions to kind of open up those endless possibilities. And that's what I love about this overall course. I took the course on my own and then it was thinking, it got me thinking, but had I been able to learn from industry experts while I was taking the courses and also really start working on something hands-on, I would have been able to learn in a better or different way. So I'm really excited to be able to deliver it to you all in this way so that you can not just, learn and have I've got a certification, but you are learning and you're putting it into motion and really seeing the benefits from what you've learned. How long is each lunch and learn every week? 1 hour. And what you'll see on the screen in regards to the lunch and learns here is that we have the guest to be determined. So really similar to the other question that we had about how are we putting the capstone groups together. We haven't scheduled out the specific speakers for these lunch and learns yet because we want to make sure that we're curating the best experts that are going to meet the needs of this group. So if we've got, for example, a lot of individuals that are joining us from a financial background or financial industry, we want to make sure that we curate experts in our network that will join the conversations with all of you that are going to be similar and helpful and experiences that really resonate with you so that you can learn from them. So again, that's the reason why we asked in the registration, like what's your industry or what's your area of expertise so that we can really create this learning cohort specifically for you, for your audience, for your industry, your business, whatever that might be. Brooke, can you think of any other questions or anything else I could clarify?
Maybe the course exam. I don't know if you really touched on that.
Yeah, thank you. So there is, as Brooke mentioned, a course exam, and that's what helps you be able to have that industry recognized certification at the end of this. So the way that works is you'll go through the LinkedIn learning courses. LinkedIn is smart enough to know because of using AI that if you try to fast forward through the courses, you can't, and it will tell you that you have not finished that course yet. There's an average amount of time that each course takes. And so you really do have to have it on and listening. And there's each chapter has a kind of a quiz or a check-in to help you make sure that you've maintained the knowledge and the learning throughout the way. And then once you've completed all 5 of the pieces of curriculum, so the first blue, what is generative AI, the evolution of thoughtful online searches, streamlining your work in Microsoft Bing Chat, and ethics in the age of generative AI, and introduction to artificial intelligence. Once you've completed those 5 courses, then the course exam becomes unlocked for you, and you can take that exam right there on LinkedIn as well. That exam does not have any extra cost, and you have to pass the exam with a 70% or higher. I do not have a background in data or IT. Actually, my background is special education, and I've worked in the field of technology a bit, but I'm definitely not a data scientist. I am not in finance, and so I did pass the exam with a 75%. If that tells you a bit about the exam, it was really difficult. But it was definitely something that proved to me that in fact I did learn along the way, and there's a lot to know about AI. I've got a question here. Kevin, what industry certification would we receive upon completing the course? So the industry recognized certification is called, I have it here actually at the end, so that you can see a screenshot of it. I took proof that I passed it. It is called the Career Essentials of Generative AI by Microsoft and LinkedIn. And that's what it looks like on LinkedIn. And you'll also get a certification from Generator that will also have information in it about how you also completed the capstone project. So you can get 2 certifications here. One is the Career Essentials in Generative AI, recognized by Microsoft and LinkedIn. And then Generator Focus certification that says you went through everything, including the Lunch and Learns and the capstone project as well. Great question, Kevin. Well, and everyone. I love the questions. Keep the questions coming.
Right, we just have a couple minutes that we can continue kind of the Q&A portion. I think the benefit of this program and course too, at least for us in the Kenosha area, is that this is not just a online learning course and certification, that you're actually connecting with other business professionals in our community to work on this content and develop, kind of that capstone project, which is kind of a nice experience for people, and one that I think Danielle has shared that the people who went through this in North Dakota thought was very valuable. So that, kind of connecting with our local business leaders on this topic and in this learning process is a benefit that, maybe you wouldn't see with other training opportunities around AI.
Yeah, good point, Brooke. I'll share from the Lieutenant Governor of North Dakota. She was there through the entire program, and the group, there was 67 participants and 13 different group capstone projects that were presented to the Lieutenant Governor, and then also her chief technology officer and chief information officer for the entire state. And after those presentations were done, she took all of that information then also to her executive cabinet meeting and said, we've got a lot of work to do, and I'm excited to do some investments here and really make change across the entire state of North Dakota for our citizens and for all of our employees. Because the capstone projects ended up being, not just fluffy, I'm going to make a chat bot, but really tying it to problems that the state of North Dakota were facing. And I can see this capstone project working in many other different businesses in that exact same way. Like, what are all the things that drive you crazy or drive you mad or wild or keep you up at night, or that you can just see your money throwing out the window? Let's talk about those things in a confidential space, obviously, and let's find some solutions for how you can make change in your business. And doing that over a 4-week period really helps you hone in on that and see, like I said, see that vision move into action.
Well, great. I don't know if there's any other questions filtering in at this point, Danielle, or if anyone wants to, now is your chance. Otherwise, again, I think we plan to share the recorded session. If you'd like to pass it along to your peers or maybe your supervisor or somebody who might have interest in the content and understanding what this training session really looks like, please feel free to share that or just review the slides and the content that we've shared with you today. And hopefully, we do have some interest to actually host this session here in Kenosha. We haven't necessarily identified a deadline when you would need to register, but please keep in mind that the program kickoff does happen on Tuesday, February 6th. So as we think through that, we'll probably be wrapping up registration for this series towards the end of January. We'll be sure to get you this follow-up information. If there's additional questions, please reply to me in the follow-up email that you receive, and I can either try to answer those from a KABA perspective, or we'll loop in Danny at Generator to answer any other detailed questions that you might have if you think of those once we depart ways here. So if there's nothing else that we're seeing coming through on the chat, or anyone who's kind of wants to unmute and ask, I think that we will let you get on with your day. And I thank you very much, Danny, for presenting what this course looks like. And thank you also to Nate for giving us some of that background on how Generator and how GBeta is actually, present in the Kenosha community. We're excited to partner with you on this, and excited to see where your programming takes the community. So thank you again for the content, and we look forward to hopefully seeing everyone in February.